tremendously he has contributed to our growth as a nation from the days of Kwame Nkrumah to the day of the current president, His Excellency Hon.Odoom. But then again, you'd agree with me that we've had challenges, and perhaps the sort of growth that we have expected, or the sort of pedestal that we ought to be, looking at where we have come from, and the fact that for a long time agric was the mainstay of our economy. We should be somewhere better than where we are now. Do you agree to this assertion?
Oh yeah, I agree to that assertion.
Yeah.
Except that we have not put agriculture in the good jacket that is supposed to be. If you continue to treat agriculture as a developmental item, where you are subject to political debates here and there, blah, 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 where you're supposed to be doing things that you are not supposed to be doing, then definitely you will be coming to what we are in now. Why am I saying that? I'm saying this because having been in agriculture for a very long time, and having worked in the private sector, and having come to public life, where I've even been a deputy minister before, I think for far too long we have treated agriculture wrongly. We have to treat agriculture as an industry with its own players and then with its own issues. Like you rightly said, those good old days, no government was giving free fertilizers and what have you.
Yeah.
And yet, our grandfathers and our fathers were able to do cocoa for Ghana to have that accolade that we have.
Yeah.
Believe me, you, Kumasi, Kofodia, Tema, and some of the most big cities, middle-level cities that we have in Ghana, were built by cocoa farmers. All because at that time they were behaving as businessmen.
Yeah.
And there was nothing like any interference here and there. But now we are doing a whole lot of politics to agriculture. And that is why we go and we come and we don't see to get our rhythm right. But if we are able to be bold enough to look at agriculture as an industry, definitely agriculture has a bigger role to play for Ghana.
When you come to Ghana here, cocoa, we are the second largest producer of cocoa in the world. At a point in time, we're even number one. Cote d'Ivoire was number two. But I mean, the cocoa sector has a lot of issues as well. And those factors came together to ensure that Cote d'Ivoire is now number one and then we are number two. But I mean, for a long time, we've been doing so great with cocoa. But let us take a look at other goods as well, other crops as well, like rice, for instance. Honorable, you'd agree with me?
Before you come to rice, let me say that cocoa, we haven't done enough. Why do you have, or how can you account for the fact that you have over 1.6 million hectares of cocoa, and you are doing far less than 1 million tons a year? It means you are not getting 1 ton per hectare. And it's not good. Yes, I can agree with you when we didn't have modernization, with modern agriculture. Yeah. I can agree with you those days, our grandfathers, when they were using axes to fell trees and hoes and cutlasses. I can agree with you. But currently, I think something better should come out of cocoa. And if you want to know, I initiated Cocoa High Tech. Ghana Cocoa High Tech, as you have heard it. I started it when I was a DCE at Trufu Praso. Came to Cocoa Research Institute. Said, Doctor, up here of blessed memory. I hear you guys have done a lot of research. Meanwhile, what is happening in 2001 when I became DCE was that people were cutting down their cocoa trees and planting cassava and plantain. So please, can we work together so that we can do something? And I said, yes, I have all the research work in my cupboard. What it needs is somebody like you to come, and then we put it on the ground. So if we are talking about cocoa high tech, I initiated it. And that time, our thinking was to put the farmer in the center. That we work to the extent that the farmer will feel so happy. In other words, improve the productivity, improve the quality, improve the availability of beans all the time. If you recall, those days, Kufuor's time, there was something like a pasompa. In other words, every other month there was some cocoa. That was the time farmers started reaping the benefits of their work. I remember I went to a community as part of our monitoring where in that community there was an old man about 80-something years. He said, Honorable, let's go to my bedroom. I will show you something. I went there and he said, sit on my bed. I sat on it and it was volo. Wooden carpet down, mosquito net. And he had his kettle. Then he said, you have made these things possible. For many years, I've been getting only 1 million every year.
That was 100 Ghana cedis then.
Yeah, then. Yeah. That 2002, 2003, it was money.
Yeah, it was money.
But then, today, I tell you, every month I get not less than 1 million Ghana cedis. And this is the kind of mentality and the idea and the philosophy that was behind Cocoa High Tech. That if Ghana, we have 1.6 million hectares, and then we're able to help the farmers do it in the way that they are doing it so that they will get at least 1 ton per hectare. And how does it work? 25 paws on a tree will give you 1 kilo dry beans. And 1 hectare is 1,000 trees. So if I'm getting 25 paws on a tree, it means I'm getting 1 ton on 1 hectare.
Wow.
And it's doable. Most of the trees that we have can even do 200, can even do 100, what have you. But then, you see, when we started it and we didn't pursue it the way we wanted it, you see, the pain sometimes I go through, that some of us, when we bring an idea, people will usurp it, hijack it, knee-jack it, and then they think they can do it. But believe me, everybody and his purpose in life and why God have brought him. So cocoa, I say yes, we did it, but look at it.
Yeah.
Now it's coming down again.
Yeah.
Because now the farmers are no more interested. Because we don't sustain anything that we get.
Honorable, I want to ask you, the conversation about rice is one that is very dear to my heart because of the fact that if you look at the goods we import, you look at the top 6 rices in there.
Yeah.
It's one of our top 6 imports.
Yeah.
In fact, the quantity of rice that we have imported over the years, in each and every year, it goes higher. And with this dollar issue, you would agree with me again that it is also a contributory factor. The fact that we have to, take so much dollars, go on the international market, go to Thailand and then Vietnam, and then go and bring this, this rice. Other countries here in Africa are making it. Right now, as it stands, Nigeria is one of the leading lights when it comes to rice production. In fact, they produce a chunk of the rice that they eat over there. I want to find out from you, is it a case that we are unable to produce the rice, I mean the required quantity of rice that should feed the country, or it is the fact that we are producing but we do not have a taste for what we are producing?
The issue is simple. Lack of ideas. You see, somebody will tell you, simple minds discuss people, ordinary minds discuss events, greater minds discuss ideas. If you want to create, if you want to do something unusual, you start with an idea. You imagine, then you design, you execute, and then you create. This rice issue, for instance, because I did this cocoa high tech, and then 2012, President Madam Sirleaf Johnson
Yeah.
of Liberia
Yeah.
asked for President Kufuor to send me to Liberia to help them. So I took my concept and I took Ghana Abrapapa to them, and then we started working on it, so that they also started revitalizing transforming their cocoa. Most of them were in the bush after the war. It was there that I had the concept and an idea that these people, their staple food is rice, and yet they are importing every grain of it, about 90-something%. And it didn't sound right to me. So I did a concept paper, brought it to President Kufuor, who then has started his foundation. I said, President, let's do this, because after receiving the award, World Food Prize, those days, blah, 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 I think it would be very good if we do something in agriculture. So he accepted it. And then he asked me to see one Professor Amano Legon. We worked on the concept. Then we took it to Washington when he was going for an award. There at a side meeting, I met Michigan State University and Cat Hunger and Poverty Foundation, who accepted to work on the concept note. Then it became a project between Bill and Melinda Gates and Kufuor Foundation, where we had to do competitive African rice initiative. And I was the policy advisor. Bill and Melinda Gates gave the technical aspect to GIZ, and then the policy and the advocacy issue to President Kufuor. And I was in charge in Abuja. It was there and there that we were able to get this Nigeria story that you are talking about.
Wow.
So that the Nigeria success story, the genesis is what I've told you, and I was very pivotal in it, because I went to stay there, and I called the stakeholders meeting, and we sat down and we did a roadmap. And now, if Nigeria is no more importing rice, that is how it all started. And Ghana can do the same thing. Unfortunately, we did it here in Ghana, Burkina, and Tanzania. Tanzania has also become successful. But Ghana and Burkina didn't succeed because of the upheavals over there. Yeah. But Ghana, the method that we used was wrong. We used a group called GRIP, Ghana Interprofessional Bodies, this thing. And I mean, it's not working. You go there, you don't see anybody. It's become one-man show. And the moment you are doing any project and becomes one-man show, the governance structure is strong, definitely the thing is not going to work. Nigeria, I was able to build 3 solid industry players within the rice value chain. The farmers, the millers, and the input dealers. Brought them together, and other players like the importers were also drafted in. come to think of an importer realizing that a miller will be able to supply his or her requirement for the year was just enough for them. And we gave them all this assurance. And when we did that, that is how Nigeria eventually was able to say we are no more importing rice. All the importers are now off taking rice from the millers. So if you are talking about the Nigeria success story, that is how it all happened.
Okay. So clearly we have issues. I want to find out if it is not too late to address this situation and what we can do to resolve it, because clearly there are people who are actually interested in farming here in Ghana and with rice and all of these other commodities, but they actually go into it and then they run at a loss because maybe they'll be done farming, they'll harvest, and then there's nobody to buy it anyway. Or sometimes they check in the amount of money they expended on farm inputs, fertilizer, and everything. And at the end of the day, when everything is done, they do their calculation. They can't. They don't make any profit. And even in certain cases, people would say that even rice produced here in Ghana,
it's not the best.
It's not the best. Some even
it's stony.
Yeah, it's stony. Some would even tell you that the prices compared to that of outside, like it's as though we are competing with them. Like, you understand? So, what can we do to address this?
No, the same thing was existing in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. The same thing. The same episode was in Nigeria. But the issue is that you need to get the value chain right. In Nigeria, when we got ourselves together and we start talking among ourselves, then we had answers to why a farmer will plant and would plant at a loss, why a miller will mill and mill at a loss, and why the consumer also is not interested in the local food, and why the importer was still importing. Because one, the puller is the consumer. The consumer wants rice to eat. And what rice is he looking for? He's looking for the quality rice. Yeah. That is white. That is, even if it's brown, good brown. Yeah. No stones. And available at moderate prices. And that is why the importers were looking outside for it, because they couldn't get it here in Nigeria. And the same thing applies to Ghana. So how did we resolve it? When we sat down, then we realized that between the input dealer and then the farmer, the input dealers were giving wrong inputs to the farmers. Wow. For instance, instead of giving seeds, they will give grain. And if you plant grain, you aren't going to get the required productivity, the yield. The yield will be very, very low. Besides that, instead of giving them NPK, those kind of good fertilizers, the chemical ones, even though they were giving them chemical fertilizers whose potence was very low. Instead of 15, it was about, say, 5. So you can imagine that this coupled with the seed that is not correct definitely was going to be disaster. Yeah. Pesticides that they were giving them, the same. And then we look at it and we say, no, we cannot let this continue. So this is what we are doing. We address that issue under that project I said, reorganization and reorientation. We address it, and now the input dealer was ready to give the correct inputs to the farmer. Then between the farmer and the miller, the farmer was planting what I call the mixed crop, mixed varieties. Different, about 4 of us, we are on the same field. So you harvest the paddy, you give to the miller, and he mills and it's all broken because we have our different strengths.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when he put it in the mill, when you are ready to peel, I'm not ready to peel. So you peel and I'm not ready, but in the long run, all broken.
Yeah.
So we were able to solve that one, and we align ourselves, and the miller will tell you, the farmer, I want Faro 44. I want Agra this.
Yeah.
So it means you have to do mono. That is all what you have to do for me. And then the miller will tell the input dealer, give him the seed for this. Give him fertilizer and the chemicals for this, which already I've told you we have certified them. The moment you do that, and then the extension officers are working on the farmers to make sure that their water levels are correct, definitely the yield have to be very high. No two ways. They were able to do 5 metric tons per hectare and even 6, and now I hear they are even getting to 10 and 11 and 12. Once you do that, then the miller can mill rice at competitive price. And besides competitive price, competitive quality. Because now he's getting you are getting bigger ton from the farm. And therefore you are able to sell the paddy to him at competitive price. And then he also polishes with his machines, and then the price will be very competitive. That is why our project was called Competitive Africa Rice Initiative. And we need to do the same thing here in Ghana so that we can be very competitive. If once you are competitive, the price is good, the quality is good, no stones, the consumers will take it.
So how do we then empower the farmers? How do we then empower them?
Oh, I've told, and I'll say it again, I've told government that in Nigeria, we brought in the central bank. The central bank, through the commercial banks, were giving loans to the tray pot, the miller, the input dealer, and the farmer. The central bank gave the loan to the commercial bank at 7%. And then the commercial banks will give it to the 3 of us at 9%. Once you are doing any agriculture and you are getting a loan at 10% and below interest rate, definitely you can make profit. So here is the same scenario. The blueprint is there, and I keep on repeating it and I keep on mentioning it if we want to get it. Because whilst I was in Nigeria, in one of the states, one of the central bank officers told me, Honorable, what you want to do here, if we can support you through the bank, using what we call the import substitution fund, which is for development of cutting down importation. So that is what we use. And we can use a similar thing here in Ghana. Yes.
Right, Honorable, ostensibly you have quite a wealth of knowledge about this, and I'm sure this isn't the first place you are proffering these solutions to some of these teething challenges and challenges that have stayed there for long. Who are the stakeholders in this matter, and how have they been taking this your counsel?
Oh, I think currently, from the government point of view, I'm working with National Service Secretariat, where we've taken some land and we even want to use it apart from solving this food security. We also want to use it to inure the youth to come back into agriculture, because the future belongs to them. And I believe in what Adesina of African Development Bank has said, that the next generation of millionaires in Africa are going to come from farming. Yeah, so if that is it, and then we have our teamy young ones coming, then definitely we have to consciously do something to put them into that line. So we've taken that land, and what we're going to do is we're using about 20,000 of the hectares to train the youth into various integrated agric. If I say integrated, we're looking at poultry is there, aquaculture is there, small ruminant is there, then poultry is there, and then we'll use the droppings of these as manure and to fertilize the soil. Because I believe that, and I've started it. I've started it at Manson Kropon with M&J Asabre Farms, where around him, I just made him pick the manure, gave it to farmers around him, including his own farm. And I tell you, if you look at the results, it's amazing. No chemical fertilizer. And the yields are phenomenal. Yes. So what we want to do is that we do that, and then we make sure that the youth, when they have trained themselves well, the 30,000 of the land remaining, if you have the capacity, we'll give you, say, 150. And then we're also going to do what we call the Renaissance Village, a village where we make provision for people who are coming for the training and people who are staying to do their own work. So that at the end of the day, we build an enclave where the youth will come in and then get equipment, get supply of machinery and everything and inputs. At the end of the day, what he does is only supervise, make sure that at the end of the day, the harvesting is done and the accounting is done. His money is given to him on his phone or in his bank. So this is what we are trying to do as a government. Yes.
With all of this beautiful, very wonderful initiatives, how long do you think that it will take? Well, I mean, some of these measures are actually...
We have started.
Okay, so how long will it take to actually reap the dividends or the benefits of
I mean, it takes time, but the most interesting part of it is we have started the land development. As I'm talking to you now, I just had a call. We have about 500 of the land developed. We are going to prepare it. You know, if I talk about develop, it's a forest area. So you need to disturb rest, then get it ready for the land preparation and for planting. And we don't want to do the depend on the rain. So we are doing what we call the irrigation. Fortunately, we are close to the Afram River and some other major rivers over there. So we are tapping water from the rivers onto the site so that we can do all year round farming. So we have started, and I believe by January, maybe we'll be reaching about 1,000 acres to start with. Yes. And remember, a journey of 1,000 miles
begins with one step. I mean, so with all these wonderful initiatives, I want projection, say by the next 5 years, we should be food sufficient if we actually are able to develop this beautiful initiative and then go or continue on that tangent.
Yeah, I'm very careful to talk about the next 5 years.
So government may not be...
Yes, as you know, I mean, governments and their approach and blah, 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 blah. But from national service perspective, we think that we want to start from this and then get to the maximum of 50,000 acres. Once we do that, and we're doing the things, we are doing things in the right way, we'll be able to make a very significant impact so far as our food security and other proteins are concerned, especially poultry.
Poultry, yes, of course, because I know we import about 98% of our poultry needs.
And
that's very disturbing.
It's too bad. It's too bad.
Right. All right, I'll take your final words.
My final word?
Yeah.
My target?
Yeah.
The youth.
Okay.
I want to encourage them. There's so much money in agriculture. Yes, we got it wrong, but we are trying to rectify it. So I want to activate their interest in agriculture so that they will come back to agric. Because that is where their millionaire belongs to. And somebody have said it, and I'm going to do it. Maybe very soon I'm going to open a school that I'll be training and then be equipping the youth to go into agriculture.
Right. So there you have it. Former Member of Parliament for the Chifuatimokwa constituency, Hon.Odoom, and we heard all he said about the country's agricultural fortunes and the way forward. Now, let's quickly get into the newspapers. Let's bring you up to speak with the stories that are trending. Our comments with the Ghanaian Times newspaper has pictures of Togbi Sri. He was welcoming Odoom for to the Hogbechochoza or the Hogbechocho Festival. So the attached story says at Anglo Hogbechocho Festival will curtail high food fuel prices. VP assures Ghanaians. And President attends World Leaders Summit of UN Climate Change in Egypt. Protesters demo in Accra against economic hardship in Kumipreko. Reloaded. And publication of false news lands 2 in court. And so these are trending stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. By the way, there's some 13 days more to go to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, which Ghana will be participating. What do you have there, Ivy?
All right, I have the Economy Times newspaper. The banner headline says, BOG likely to tighten policy rate further. BOG likely to tighten policy rate further. Job scarcity on the rise. And fuel prices to surge further as BDCs to sell at going exchange rate. All right, so these are the stories captured on the front page of Economy Times. The back page says, cheap fuel, BDCs need special forex access arrangement. Analysts and Dr. Addison named among Africa's #1 10 best central bank governors. Prices of Ghana's key commodity exports drop. All right, so that's it for the Economy Times newspaper.
Right, let's move on to one of the country's very best newspapers, the Inside newspaper, has a picture of the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It says, construction industry facing imminent collapse over economic hardship. And we can't wait for 2024. Akufo-Addo must resign now. Martin Pebu. Ahead of NDC regional elections, Michael Tete Kwete upbeat about his chances of being elected Greater Accra chairman. As global financial crisis affects operations, Scholarship Secretariat meets NUCS assure students of disbursement of bursaries. These are trending stories on the front page of the Inside newspaper. Visit www.theinsidenewsonline.com to read some of these stories. Or better, grab a copy at any newspaper stand for just 4 Ghana cedis.
Well, on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher has His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's picture right there, and Dr. Alan Tremantin, and former CEO of Beige. It says, Alan leading ambitious trade policy 6 years on. Former CEO of Beige charged with stealing depositors' money, and Ghana has only one elected president. Majority leader yells at NDC NP. Jinapo pushes climate change agenda. Don't judge us by prevailing economic situation, Baumia says. That's it for the Ghanaian publisher newspaper.
Right. So what should we judge
Why
him
did
by?
you laugh?
What should we judge him by?
Yeah, he says, amen.
By what indices
He says
should we
things were
judge him?
going on perfectly before COVID, so...
It's okay. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, Historical Hogbechocho Festival, Odoom for Garmanche Art Color to event. Yep, so you see Togbi Sri and Odoom for 82 right there. President Akufo-Addo leads delegation to COP27. Economic challenges, consumers resort to improvisation. AGI pledges support to turn economy around. So these are trending stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Let's do the Daily Guide. Ex-Beige CEO charged for stealing over 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. Ashanti's was not enemies, Odoom for. Ignore Kevin Taylor's mad rantings. And who is that? Richard and Hiangba. All right, trust me to turn economy around. Ofori Atta.
Well, let's do the Inquisitor newspaper next. I think that should be our last one, our last but one newspaper. The Inquisitor says Regional Maritime University Auditorium Project, Yoko Falls contractor. And please foil Blekusu Demo. Scholarship Secretariat boards in fruitful discussion with Nooks. Magdan champion mentor girls to succeed. Coming up, bar scent blowing at Maslock. These are trending stories on the front page of the Inquisitor newspaper. I will do the final newspaper.
All right, finally, let's do the Ghanaian Observer. It says, Hogbe Chocho Festival Vice President Baumia receives Ralston welcome. And Akufo-Addo attends COP 27th Summit, address UN Security Council. Don't measure government performance post-COVID-19 only. VIP Vice President. And the Makers Electronics CEO grabs West Africa Nobel's Forum Award. Let us make COP 27 a great success, Lance Minister. That's it for the Ghanaian Observer newspaper. Let me say a big thanks to you for choosing to stay with us. Good morning to Prophet Stephen Aduma of the Spirited Place OEV, the Extreme Thinkers Only. Good morning. Have a wonderful day today. Don't go anywhere. The newspaper review segment is next. My name Ivy Abnadidi Nakite, and I did this with
Blessed Man Aloma. So do stand by for the review segment of the show coming up shortly.